Hello everybody, Tuesday, November 10th. Out here walking. I just tied my shoe and now I have to retie it. I don't know what my problem is. We're gonna do some odd news. It's been a while since we've done the odd news report. And odd news. So let's just jump right into it. UPI.com, always a reliable odd news source. Some of these odd news sources, the odd news is more like just like interesting news. But just depends on the item. From UPI.com, a 32-year-old message in a bottle found in a Canadian lake. So, in Ontario, Canada, this dude found a bottle with a 32-year-old message, and he found the lady that wrote the message. She has no memory of writing it. The author at the time was 13 years old. Visiting summer cottages in the area, or cottages in the area. She lived on the other side of the lake from where she was visiting. Let's see. Had no memory of putting a message in a bottle at 13 years old. Are you trying to tell this court? Are you trying to tell this court that you have no memory of writing this message? Let's see if I can read the message somewhat. No, can't read it. Says something, then at the bottom, please write. Well, the guy should have wrote her back, man. That's how they should have done it. Write the kid back. That's how they should have done it, bro. All right, not a stellar opening. This falls more into interesting news than odd news. man's accidental, again, UPI.com. Man's accidental purchase of identical lottery tickets doubles prize. Accidental purchase of identical lottery tickets. Yeah, you could do that, right? You could play the same number, and then you'd get, yeah, you'd have 2 winning tickets. Wow, that's not odd, is it? Some people, I know people do that. I don't think I've ever purchased my own lottery ticket. Like, I've done the office lottery tickets. Hey, we're getting a bunch of lottery tickets. Here's my, $5, $10, $20, whatever it is. But I've never bought my own. Should try that probably. World's largest. Hold on a second. Let's get past this. Let's go a little farther. World's largest hand-drawn maze covers more than 1,120 square feet. I should be sleeping in that hospital and then banging on. You realize this is a hospital, right, sir? 7:30 in the morning. Bang, bang, bang. I remember in LA there were all these ordinances. No leaf blowers before 7 a.m. City ordinance. 5:30 in the morning. Let's see. This lady in Michigan said it took her more than 90 days to create the biggest hand-drawn maze in the world. It measures more than 1,120 square feet. Okay, so where do you put all this maze? Covers a surface area of, yeah, we just said that. All right. Raising money for the Living Arts, a Detroit organization that provides community art programs for the kids. All right. We're not, these are interesting. We're not anywhere near the guy hiding from the police in a washing machine territory. That's the guy. Remember that story? Guy hiding. I think it was in India or something. He was hiding from the police. He climbed inside of a washing machine, a top loader. That is a slender individual. All right, here we go. Hikers find message dropped by carrier pigeon in 1910. What's with all these time warp messages? Time decades later. Are we to believe the carrier pigeon? That it was a carrier pigeon? A couple in France came across an unusual historic artifact, UPI.com, a carrier pigeon message. Oh, I see. They know what it is. Right. Message from 110 years ago. Guy said he was hiking with his partner when they saw a aluminum cylinder on the ground. Is that how they did it? I dug it up and looked inside. a small piece of paper bearing a message that they could not make out. They took it to the museum, where it was translated from, well, a German-speaking friend helped them translate it. It was written in 1910, they believe, by a Prussian infantry officer they think it was dropped by the carrier pigeon. Oh, as the pigeon, dropped it accidentally on his way to wherever he was going. Whoever was getting that message. Experts said it was extremely rare. It's not going to be on display at the museum. All right, here's an older one. Family builds backyard tribute to Disneyland roller coaster. I just read yesterday that Disneyland, I forget which one it was, Disneyland or Disney World, but they don't know when they're going to open. They have no idea when they're going to open. They just laid off a bunch of more people. ESPN just laid off 500 people. But the thing is, even if you open, I'm sure there's people that are going to come out, but I'm not coming out. I mean, it's like the restaurants. Even if you open your restaurant, and I'll answer my own question. I was going to say, if you open a restaurant, you still have people that are not going to come out, like me. I think that, like the other day, right along here, over here on this side of right over here, north, the short north, it's a bunch of restaurants and bars. It was the first nice day in a long time. Not a long time. Went through like a little cold snap, then I got warm. The day I got warm, everybody was out. Everybody. I drove along High Street. It's the main street. One of the main streets, and it was, all these people. And I think it might have looked that way because maybe some of the restaurants were outside only. I don't know, but people just want to meet with their friends and all that. It makes total sense. I'm not doing it. I've had many invitations. Hey, let's go. We can have lunch and wherever. I said no. You are. I'm not. Because even if, for me, it's just me being, with some comorbidities. Even if you're outside, which is much better, I think. I have much less of a problem with outside seating, because you get the wind and et cetera, et cetera. But still, the way that you sit at a restaurant, you sit across from each other, and you're well within 6 feet. And somebody told me, oh no, they seat you, with these big tables, and you're way across from each other. Listen, I've driven by these restaurants all day. They're not 6 feet apart. It's a bar table, most of the time. Especially patio seating, they can't fit giant tables where everybody's 9 feet apart. You're breathing right directly on the person, and especially if there's 4 to 6 people crisscross. It's it's exactly why I'm not doing rideshare anymore. I had 9,000 rides. Let's see, 80s, like 9,000 rides. I'd have to look. With Lyft, working 6 days a week for 3 years, roughly. I'd have, a lot. You said the average rideshare person works 20 hours a week. And I thought, 20 hours a week? Well, that's, you know, it's a fill-in for a lot of people. That makes total sense. They have a job and then it's extra money. That makes total sense. Probably the way you should do it. Well, that was my job. And, you know, maybe I'm paranoid, but as soon as the pandemic hit, I would put on these masks. I was wearing masks, like doubled up, tripled up. You know, and this is early on, just because the best way to avoid problems with a virus is to not get it, in my opinion. Look, if I was 27, maybe it'd be a different story. But I'm not. So, you know, I took this air filter that I got from Home Depot. Look at that girl run, man. Jeez. That was a good runner. I'm out here walking, limping. Going down a rabbit hole, but you get the idea. So I don't know how people do that. And later on, that was what they said. One of the things you don't want to do is be in a small enclosed space. Where there's nowhere for the droplets to go. Now I know drivers have put up shields and stuff like that, and that's a good idea. But I just never. I just thought, you know, it's also a good idea. Let's do something else. Again, if you're under 30, you can still get it, but chances are your system is in a lot better shape. People said, oh, it's the flu. Yeah, but in May, what was it? Early on, it was like April, March, April, right in there. I said, yeah, if we didn't have vaccines for the flu, you know, you can get a flu shot. There's nothing. If you get it, there's nothing they can. That was another sort of sudden realization when people started getting sick, because nobody really knew. All of us were figuring things out. Now, some people. Well, let's don't get political. Let's keep it non-political. They didn't really know the extent of this brand new virus, and but for some reason I thought, you know, this is, yeah, it's bad, but you know, we have medical science. It shouldn't be that big a deal, because you know, we've got. Like the flu, they'll give us a shot. Probably in another month they'll have a shot. Like I didn't know how it works. I didn't know it takes 2 years to get a vaccine. But it never occurred to me. I have no clue. And but I started reading about people getting sick and going to the hospital, and they couldn't do anything. We can't do anything for you. We'll only take you if you are super serious, and then if you're super serious, well, we still can't really do anything. It just depends. It's just kind of, fate. And in my mind, again, I was like, wait a minute. And it seems obvious now, but at the time, I just thought, I'm driving people around 12 hours a day for 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. 12 hours is the maximum. I probably would have done it more. And I was picking up a lot of people at LAX from around the world, from China. I was picking up people from France and Germany and, Brazil. every day. And they just said, probably better to step away for a bit and figure this out. The beauty of that job is I was able to write while I worked, because I would record. Basically, the way I do it is I record an audio or video of an idea first. Got a rough draft is an audio and video. A lot of times that's where I'll stop, and I'll just use it. I'll just use the first draft. I consider that my first draft. And a lot of times I'll just go, that's good enough. I'll just use it. I'll upload it. But then I take the text, right, from the video. Like let the computer pull the text out. A lot of times just using YouTube. So I'll upload the video, and then and then YouTube makes a text copy of it. And then that's my I use that to create the second draft. That way I don't have to type anything. I mean, let the machine do it. Now, sometimes I still do old school typing, but it's just slower. So as I was, driving, you weren't constantly busy, so I'd record a video in my car. So I got a lot of work done. It's very productive. A lot of writing, if you call it writing. And you say, well, but why would you upload your rough copy? Why not? Well, might not do very well. A lot of them didn't. But I've also finished 8 books doing it that way. So, just because it doesn't do good as a video doesn't mean it won't do good on a podcast, or it won't do good as a as a written book. And I'm gonna rework that material by the time I get done with it. That original rough draft video I'll have reworked into 1,500 different formats. But eventually business went down. We'd go to the airport, and there'd be, it used to be, so what happens is you would go to the waiting lot, right, at LAX, and you would go into this specific parking lot, and where all the rideshare drivers are, the holding lot, and the system knows you're there. I was doing Lyft. The Lyft knows you're inside that area. It's called a geofence, and it puts you in line. It says you are number. Now again, remember this at LAX. So you are number 120 in line, which sounds like a lot, which is, I guess it is. But there'd be 250 cars in that lot, of one of the busiest airports in the world. So it didn't take that long. And so that was pre-pandemic. But then you had to go wait in line to get to so they go, okay, you're picking up Ted, from Southwest. So then you still had to get in line to get to the Southwest terminal. So now you've waited in the lot. Now you're waiting in the heavy traffic to get to the terminals called the concourse, if you've ever been to LAX. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. But anyway, so that's the way it was pre-pandemic, and then post-pandemic eventually dwindled to, business was dwindled, especially at LAX. So you could go to the holding lot, and it used to be, 250 cars. Now there's like, 20. Well, you still had to wait because there wasn't as many travelers. And then after a while, there was no traffic going up to the terminals. So you could drive right up to the terminal. Or actually, by that time they created a whole new pickup system. But so you go to the pickup system. It's kind of a separate lot where all the riders went to meet the cars. You'd pull right, there'd be no one there. Usually there'd be, hundreds of passengers, and let's say in line there, probably 70 cars in line. So now keep it in mind. You're picking up somebody. You already have the fare, so to speak, but you're in line to pick them up, and they're in another line, in a passenger line waiting for you. So in other words, it was packed. Well, after the pandemic, you could just drive right up because there wouldn't be any passengers, and there weren't any other cars in front of you. Let's see. It was just eerie. This big giant airport, this whole massive system that they built to make it easier to pick up passengers with this separate pickup lot system. And there's your lone passenger from Italy standing there. And you just pull right up, and then they're, now that was the one good thing, is that the traffic in the city was reduced, and it was reduced a lot, so it was much easier to drive in LA. And the air was so clean. It was unbelievable how clean the air was. All right. Oh, we lost track of what we're doing here. Let's find our place. Oh yeah, family builds backyard tribute to Disneyland. I don't think we're going to look at that one. I get the idea. Man catches 18 uncooked eggs in his mouth for a Guinness record. Does that sound 18 eggs? An Idaho man is a UPI, broke a Guinness World Record that turned out to be really hazardous. Catching uncooked, unbroken eggs in his mouth. Wait a minute. Say what? This dude, David Rush, he's broken more than 150 Guinness records. He does it to promote... Oh, no. All right, hold on a second. All right, I get it. He does it to promote STEM education. STEM education is science, technology, engineering, and math. Is that correct? Said his neighbor helped him out. He caught the eggs in 1 minute. His friend threw the eggs from 6.5 feet away. And he caught, 6.5 feet away. And then he tried to catch him with his mouth. So the 36 eggs thrown, 24 caught, with 18 ending up unbroken. Rush said he cut his lip on one egg, but he continued. He soldiered on. He soldiered on, and surpassed the previous record of 17 eggs. So, I guess I'm not 100% sure. So they throw the egg, and you have to catch the whole egg in your mouth? Is that the story? Unbroken. Seems like that'd be an easy one to cheat on. This other one seems. Is this the same guy? Yeah, this is the same guy. Yeah, I think. Man uses mouth as UPI to bounce table tennis ball off of wall for Guinness record. Let's see if it's the same guy. Yeah, same guy. David Rush again. He used his mouth to bounce a table tennis ball off a wall 43 times in 30 seconds. That doesn't seem like the most cleanly thing to do, right? Said he practiced for a year before attempting the record up there in Idaho, in Boise. Total was, okay, he thought he had 44 bounces, but they have slow motion video, and unfortunately it revealed that the very last bounce came in after the clock, so the 30-second clock, so he only got 43. Oh, sorry dude, but still 43 is very good. That's the record. Now, what was the previous record? Well, that was our man Ray Reynolds over there in Britain. 2018, he had 34 bounces. I wonder if you could somehow figure out, like, what's the easiest, like, if your goal was to just beat a Guinness record of some kind. Like, what would be the easiest category? Just so you could say, oh, I'm a Guinness World Record for fun. Like Guinness World Record hacks. Yeah, I bet you there is that. When I get home, I'll look that up. Could even make it a video just for content purposes, as a content idea, just to try. You know, even if you have no. Even if you have no hope, I don't have the time. But just to try, like the ball bouncing off the wall thing, to see how hard it is. Like, what was the, you know, hey, I'm no architect, but what? So you have this building here, looks like a house. But why build these? Like, that building's kind of, I don't know. I'm assuming this is an older, this building, Fetchco alumni scholarship house. I assume that's been there and that the rest was built around. Well, let's go up and look. are they gonna do? Arrest us? It just seems odd. Of course, this is premium land. We're right in the middle of campus, but it seems like you have this beautiful building. You'd want to kind of build some gardens and stuff. Well, here, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about, by the way. The Ohio State University Fetchco Alumni Scholarship House. Alumna. Fetchco Alumna Scholarship House. The Ohio State University, the Alumni Association, and the Alumna Council combined resources in 1935 to establish the Alumna Scholarship Housing Program. Oh. So there's people living in here? Housing program, the first cooperative scholarship housing for academically gifted women with financial need. The house is named in honor of Ruth Fetchco, who has been an outstanding friend, mentor, and longtime supporter of the Alumna Scholarship Housing Program through her work at the university and through her work on the Alumna Scholarship Housing Advisory Board. The Fetchco Alumna Scholarship House offers a home-like setting which fosters the pursuit of academic excellence and personal growth for undergraduate women with financial need. Yeah, I read somewhere, most people say, and I don't really know the difference, but alumna is, I guess, so you have alumni, like everybody just says alumni, but it's not always the proper use, because they'll say, oh, I'm an alumni, but so there's different versions of alumni. So alumna, or this, at least the spelling on that sign in this case, is for women. And I think there's, well, let's look it up. You don't really know what you're talking about, do you? All right, let's do it. Thank God if Google's here on my phone. Thank the Lord. It saves me a lot of embarrassment. Yeah, so you have, right, alumni, you have alum, A-L-U-M, you have alumna, L-A-M-N-A, then you have alumnus, then you have alma mater. All right, alumnus is Latin, no, in Latin. This is University of Waterloo. Alumnus in Latin, a masculine noun, refers to a male graduate. The plural is alumni. Gotta open it up. I was reading the snippet there, the Google snippet. Let's see. The plural is alumni. Alumna, L-A-M-N-A, is in Latin is a feminine noun. Refers to, you guessed it, a female graduate or former student. The plural is A-L-M-N-A-E, which it was on that building. Does that make sense? Alumnus is masculine. Plural is alumni. Plural, okay. But that's how, oh, I see, okay. And then alumna is a feminine noun. Now, I don't know if the, and then the plural for female graduates, L-A-M-N-A-E, but is it pronounced the same? Is it pronounced the same as the singular? All right, so you got all that? Because there's more. if a group includes both genders, even if there's only one male, the plural form alumni, L-A-U-M-N-I, is used. And now, this is from the University of Waterloo website. They say, at Waterloo, as an institution, we only use alumnus and alumni in an effort to reduce confusion. So you'll find that we regularly refer to a female graduate as an alumnus. And if you were paying attention, you'll remember that alumnus is the masculine noun, refers to a single person, a male graduate or former student. So they use alumnus for single. I'm talking about the University of Waterloo. They use alumnus for all singular person graduates of the University of Waterloo, and they use the plural form alumni for more than one. I don't know, I mean, just in casual everyday use, I don't even hear people say alumnus. They say, oh, well, this is just my broken English. They say, are you an alumni? I'm an alumni of. She's an alumni. She's a, Ohio State alumni. Whereas, technically, according to the University of Waterloo shorthand, and I'm sure that's probably pretty common way to do it, you should say, she's an alumnus of Ohio State University. Oh. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Then they talk about their alumni affairs and alumni programs. God, there's so many things that I should be doing with my school, Ohio University, that I just maybe while I'm here in Ohio, I should be contacting them and doing something. Different alumni programs. Well, here, let's see what the University of Waterloo has, and then we'll see if probably my school might have something like that. You can network with each other. You get group rates for life and auto insurance. Oh, there you go. Let's see. You can be in the alumni chapter. You could become a global ambassador. Spread the word about the university. Of course, you could read the monthly newsletter. You could like the alumni Facebook page. I've done that on my school. Oh, alum, yeah. All right, yeah. Alum is the... Right. A-L-U-M. They're saying... Whoever wrote this is kind of funny. Pat is the article. That's all it says, Pat. A-L-U-M... Once you start saying A-L-U-M, alum, to reference graduate, you've crossed the line. ALUM is an element that can be found on the periodic table, not at networking events, lectures, or convocation ceremonies, generally speaking. He's a pretty good writer. So reference your status as an alumnus with pride. Just do it correctly. I'm fighting an urge to put an emoticon smiley face here, since this part is serious. Let's see. Yeah, so they refer to only alumnus or alumni. Makes it simple, right? Alumnus, he or she is an alumnus. They are alumni. All right, we got it. Can you imagine learning Latin? I think my dad took Latin, and I'm sure there's still people that do it today, but wow. Now, I will say, if you know some Latin and Greek, it's a lot easier to figure out. Like if you forget a word, if you forget the meaning of a word, so you look up a word, you come across a word you don't use a lot. Okay, let's look it up. So you look it up, then you come across it again, and you're like, what is that? If you know a little bit of Latin or Greek, and I don't, but let me finish the thought first. It's easier to figure out the word because you can just go by the root, the Latin or Greek roots of the word. And you can kind of, well, first of all, you probably get the gist of it from the context of what you're reading. That's kind of what I just go by. But I always think to myself, what if somebody asked me to define this word? I'd say, well, it's kind of like, and usually, I mean, unless you have all day to look up words and, but it does help improve your vocabulary and stuff if you take the time. But anyway, I don't have that time. But anyway, I had this audio book series, Expanding Your Vocabulary or something like that. This is back in the cassette days, audio cassettes. And I was selling advertising at the time in my car, so I drive around, I put on the cassette. It was really good. And they talked about, take a word and they break down the word. And they had I remember they had a male host of these tapes, female. And they were kind of banter, it's almost like DJs. They tried to make it funny and fun. And, the guy would say, well, Gene, what is, how do we break down oligarch? Like oligarch, I mean, that's like a rich person, right? And she'd say, well, it's more like a business person. An oligarch is not just like a leader or a mucky-muck in a country. It's more like a business leader that uses their money to influence, And then the guy would say, so, Gene, are you an oligarch? Only if you give me $1 million, Dave. This kind of silly banter. But then they would break down the word. They'd say, well, oligarch comes from olig, which is in Latin is, whatever it is. I don't know. You know what I mean? They break it all down. And they said in the tape, I remember them saying this, that you can figure out a lot of words just if you know like a very few Latin or Greek roots. Look at that thing, man. That does a hell of a job, that thing. It's really blowing those leaves. Wow. That's like a industrial leaf blower. Why don't they just leave them? There's not that many students out here. Just leave them. What's the point? What's the difference? What's with this tree? Why is it the top? It's not like putting out the leaves, man. The leaves at the bottom. I think we've got a labor situation here. These leaves are doing all the work, man. These leaves are really not doing much. I mean, doesn't that seem like a Briggs labor law? And then this tree is not doing anything. Oh, look at all these other trees doing all the work, and this guy's doing half the work. This tree's doing nothing. No leaves, bro. Oh, man. I don't know. The university should be alerted to this. These two guys right here. Look at this guy. Maybe they already did the work. Maybe that's what all these leaves are. They're like, hey, dude, we did our leaves. Now we're going to sleep. We're going to... I'm taking a nap. Look at this tree, man. Doesn't this look like a scary tree from a horror story or something? Can you imagine this at night against the moon? Look at the size of this college campus. This is the main campus. This is the Oval. Look how big it is. That's crazy. Colleges really became a thing, man. Oh, I love the bells. To me, that's one of the best parts of a college campus, is when they peal the bells. I think that was the half-hour appeal right there. Let's go this way. Oh, don't walk on the lawn, bro. What kind of heathen are you? What kind of heathen are you, bro? How much time do we have left on this? Oh, not much. All right, let's do a couple more stories. I just want to recap this while I'm thinking about it. Alumnus is the masculine noun for a single person, for male. And alumni is the plural. Alumna is the singular feminine, and the plural is alumnae, I guess, L-A-M-N-A-E. I'll have to check out the pronunciation. Then, if the group includes both men and women, alumni. And a lot of universities are just using alumnus for one person, and male or female, and alumni for plural, which of course is what we just said is refers to masculine. See, it's the masculine, it's the patriarchy. Here you have a university, in order to simplify the use of alumni terms, chose the male words, further extending the patriarchy. What if I was a woman and I wanted to be referred to as an alumna? Hey, you come on. such a variety of trees of this. Look at this tree. What's going on with this guy? Is this as big as he's gonna get? Look at these other trees. I wonder if they've ever had to, and probably they have, it's been here a long time, but I mean, just take out a tree completely. You got like a pine tree. See all the different kinds? It's amazing. It reminds me of Christmas. We're gonna have Christmas here pretty soon. I bought 2 bags of this. Has nothing to do with Christmas or trees, but I bought 2 bags of potatoes. You know, I thought I'll just cook them. You know, usually I would just cook them as I needed them. You know, 5 potatoes, 7, whatever. But what kind of? They should have a little thing that says chemical building or whatever. Arts and sciences. But then what usually happens is I get busy. I don't cook any potatoes. I don't make any dishes that have potatoes. So I looked at these 2 bags the other day. I go, oh man, I better use these potatoes. Still fresh, still good, but you know, I knew that if I didn't just cook them, I wouldn't use them. So I look up online, and again, keep in mind, I know nothing about cooking. I look up online. How do you cook a bunch of potatoes at once? Because so, for example, I like making roasted chicken. So, in a Dutch oven, simple. This is what I like. It's simple. And what's kind of neat about it is you can cut up a bunch of potatoes and onions, or whatever else you want, carrots, and put them on the bottom of the Dutch oven. And then it, when the chicken cooks, the drippings go down into those vegetables. So it makes an unbelievably tasty kind of, you know, makes those vegetables really tasty, you know. So, but still, to cover the bottom of a Dutch oven with potatoes doesn't take that many potatoes. We chop them up, you know what I mean? Cut them up. So I look up, how do I cook? Let me just cook all these potatoes and then I'll use them. So they said, just bake them on a baking sheet, throw them all on a baking sheet, and bake them. You know, 1 hour in the oven at 1 hour to an hour 15 in the oven at 400 degrees. Of course, you have to wash them and, you know, coat them in olive oil, put a little salt on them, no big deal. So I did that. It worked out great. But now, you figure each bag had about, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 15 to 20 potatoes. Now I have like, all these potatoes. I've got like 30 potatoes. Then you got to eat them within 4 days.
This is a Buckeye lockdown.
I said to my brother, I go, hey man, I cooked these potatoes because, you know, I knew that I had to do it, and or you know, not use them, and but now I have 30 potatoes. So I said, just take one out of the fridge and heat them up. You know, put them in the microwave. Take 2 out. They weren't huge. They weren't those giant russets. They were just kind of medium-sized russets. And I said they're good. They're really good. So that was yesterday. I don't know if he did it. But I had a lot of potatoes yesterday. But I have no idea about, you know, food or cooking. So I look up, are potatoes good for you? I said, yeah, it's got vitamin C, it's got all this stuff, fiber in the skin, the potato skin. But the glycemic load and the glycemic index on them is off the charts. So a potato is good for you, but it spikes your blood sugar like to huge amounts. So here I was eating like 2 or 3 potatoes at a time. My blood sugar is probably look like spiking. I guess there's glycemic. All I remember is the words glycemic index and the glycemic load. So basically what's happening is it turns, your body turns them into sugars, you know. It's a carb, and it's a good, I don't know if it's a complex carb, I couldn't remember, but basically it's a good carb because it, you know, there's a lot of nutrients and fiber. But the starches, is it the starches that are converted into sugar? Something like that. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. But I just thought, wow, that's not good. And the reason I bought all those potatoes is because I thought, well, this is a simple, easy thing to make, right? Just as by themselves, you know. I mean, maybe you put a little whatever on them to make them a little interesting, but I don't really load them up with anything. A little olive oil, a little butter, maybe peppers, some garlic, but not much. It's all I need, and some season, like some Mrs. Dash or something, some seasoning. But you know, I'm not in any situation where I can afford, you know, adding that much sugar being converted to fats. Plus, you know what? Just you're getting kind of, you're spiking your blood sugar like that. It's not good for, you know, diabetes and all these other problems that you could have. It's supposed to go up to 77 today, and this is one of the last few days where it's going to be this nice. If it starts getting super cold, I suppose I'd still come out. I mean, you know, it's not that big a deal. But I might just go to the gym. Planet Fitness. But I should be lifting anyway, but I've just been so busy. All right, guys. Oh, check it out. Good marketing. This guy's using a small kind of real estate size signs to promote his YouTube channel. Oh, that was kind of smart. I'm going to assume he's a singer. Well, let's give him a shout out then. Drula Maine. Rainman Drula on Instagram. YouTube, Drula. Search Drula Maine on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. There you go. Very smart. Very smart. On campus, maybe he goes here, I don't know. Some guerrilla marketing right there. street marketing, they might call it. Street marketing. Street team marketing. It's very smart, man. Buy those inexpensive. They're probably not that inexpensive, but put them up among college students. Put it on campus where they're walking. And they go, I'll check it out. You know what you might want to do is add a QR code to that. Scan it with your phone. But still, way to go, Drula. Very smart. I'm going to check it out. Let's check it out right now. Let's see if I can find it now. Drula, Maine, right? Drula, Maine. Still in a trap. Oh, cool. Twitter, there he is. So, yeah, Drula Fanatics, these guys, you know, is doing it. All right, let's listen to it. Oh, I can't. It'll get picked up by the YouTube. They'll flag my video. All right, let's go to his Twitter. His Twitter is Drula Pack, like 2-pack. Good. Drew Pack, very good. What? Oh, Instagram. SoundCloud. It's not connecting. Drula, gotta clean up your socials, man. Let's go to Insta. Insta's kind of the main. The kids aren't doing Facebook, but they are on Insta. And of course, TikTok. Let's see if I can find Drula. Drula. Rain Man Drula. There it is. Musician band, Columbus, Ohio. 2 mixtapes out. City Rich and Fish Cell. Search Drula, Maine on all platforms. He's got his YouTube link. All right, let's look at your social. One day ago. Okay, nice. Recent post, that's good. Song is called Crack Rock. It says, yo, this is the perfect time to go check out my recent music videos if you haven't. Here's another post. All right, Drilla, cool. Let's look at the sound. Let's look at the YouTube link. I would look at your old. Yeah, I put up some stuff. London Flow. That Power. HN8, hate Nate, Hanate, HN8. Let's see. Yeah, he's got his mixtape there. All right. It's tough, man. We're all in the same boat. Everybody is media these days, and it's tough to break through. But if I had to offer some advice, which you don't need my advice, but your SoundCloud, your Twitter comes up, but your Twitter's, maybe you have a different Twitter, but the one that's your 2017 one, sometimes people start a Twitter under one name, then they go to another one, so he might have a current one, but there's one from 2017 that's not current, but it comes up, and then it links to your SoundCloud or a SoundCloud. Maybe it's an old SoundCloud, and that's a dead link. So I would, if you're going to keep that old Twitter, and then have a link on it, I would make that to your YouTube rather than your SoundCloud, unless you have another SoundCloud. You know what I mean? Just make sure all the links, even if it's not a current account, like an updated account, make sure the links go to your current stuff, because what'll happen is just what happened. I pulled up your Twitter under your name, and like I say, it was a 2017. You know, there's like no followers and one post, so you know, there's a million of those Twitter accounts that just aren't active. But at least update the link in the bio. I think I'm over-explaining it. You get the idea. He's like, dude, I don't need your help. He's probably right. He's probably right about that. All right. That's it for me, guys. Talk to you soon.